Hi, this is Tyrone, and welcome to another episode of the It Factor. It's the When Vogue Calls series, and this week's episode is based on, it's called Stealing Vogue. I want to share a story, as usual. Years ago, we had this model who was part of this controversial top American designer who was always controversial, this designer. Advertising campaigns were always a bit controversial. So I was representing this lovely English girl, and she was part of one of the campaigns in the 90s that caused a big uproar. And but what happened, she was just taking off. Her career was taking off big time, and especially when she did the campaign for this big designer, and it was all over that even the president of the United States got involved because there was a big uproar about the suggestive ways in which campaigns were shot, right? So anyways, she had shot the campaign, and now Vogue was, requesting her. She was starting to get some really good, attention. So her agent in London decided that now that her career was taken off, that they were going to switch her to one of the other bigger agencies in New York. I was in the middle of negotiating a contract for a cosmetic deal for her, a huge cosmetic deal. So the negotiations had been going on for about 9 months, I think, maybe a little bit longer, because we go from stages in stages with the negotiation, and then the client would put the thing on hold, and then they'll come back and say, let's start up again the talks about the contract and stuff there. So then I started, inside your heart, I always say God warns us. Something just kept saying to me, this girl is going to switch agencies. I just had this gut feeling with all the big controversy about the campaigns, a good controversy. Well, she was becoming known in the business, and here was this campaign that's even highlighting her even more. And then our agent in New York, in London, decided that they were going to switch. I didn't even know all this. I just felt, they've always been a little bit sketchy. Not sketchy, but just a little bit, I guess, sketchy. And I remember when I started negotiating the contract, I had to discuss with them. Each time you're doing these contracts for these models, especially foreign models who have mother agents in other countries, you want to always make sure that they know what's going on every step of the way. So I would try to include them in everything. So they knew about the cosmetic deal that I was negotiating. It was a big cosmetic deal, big brand, very well-known American brand. So they started being a little bit, So then, during the whole stage of the negotiations, I decided to include in the agreement to the client, to the ad agency, I said, in the contract, I had written down in it that, an addendum in it that even if the girl leaves the agency, I have the right to finish the negotiations on the contract, even if she switch agency within the next year or two. I can't remember, some weird wording I put in it, but I made sure I wanted to cover my end. Because when you negotiate in these things, it takes time, and there's a lot of money involved for the agency, for the model, the commission that the agency was going to make and stuff there. So I decided to add an addendum in it saying, if the girl leaves the agency, the deal still had to be completed through me and the agency. The client signed it. Everyone signed it. I said nothing. And so lo and behold, about a month, I think, before the contract was supposed to be signed, a lovely agent in London sent a letter stating that she's going to switch agencies. And I said, okay. And they wanted to get all the options we had on our chart. So technically, every agent, when a model switch agencies, you want to let the new agency know all the things that you have on their charts so that they, the new agency, can honor those options. So everything that's on the chart would belong to me. And the new agent, I would tell them, okay, on XYZ day, these are the jobs that are holding. And they would have it so they know that those jobs would continue negotiating through my agency. So I gave them all. She had all these jobs holding, all these whatever magazines and catalogs and whatever holding. So I gave them everything. And I said also a negotiation with this cosmetic firm. And what I did also, just to protect myself, I sent a note, a sign, asked the new agency to sign off that they would honor the full agreement and that every job that I submitted, they had to honor it, including that cosmetic, for as long as the duration of that contract is being negotiated and the completion of it. So they signed off. Basta. First I got it with the ad agency, now I got it with the new agency and the client. So what happened is that the agent in London thought that they were going to steal the job, the contract, that they were going to finish the negotiations. So all of a sudden, I sent them also the full schedule of what the model we had on our chart. And then one of the agents called back and said, oh, you're not going to finish the contract negotiation for the cosmetic. I said, really? I said, and they're screaming all these, no, you're not. So I said, okay, we'll see. Got played tough in this business. So, of course, they decided that they were going to reach out to the client. And so I said, if you dare to reach out to my client, I'll have my attorneys contact you immediately and hold you accountable for tortious interference. You're going to be held accountable for obstructing my deal. And yeah, they told me a few curse words. How dare you? We're gonna fill in the blanks. So I reached out to the ad agency and the client, and I said, we have a deal, and nobody else can complete this negotiation except me and the client. Did not want to get involved, but they honored it. They had to honor it because they had signed off on it. The new agency, realizing that they had actually signed off on something like that, I guess they got a earful from the agent in London, because the agent in London was like, how dare you sign off on something like that? You should never have signed off on that. So in the end, the deal was done through Yours Truly agency. It had to be done through it. Couldn't go anywhere else. But that's how God works. God always warns us in these situations about when things are about to go awry. He sends and he puts his Holy Spirit inside of us to say, you know what, just be careful. Always cross your T's and put your I's there, dot your I's and stuff there. Make sure that you cover every area possible. He gives us wisdom, understanding, and knowledge for a reason. And that was one of the things I always prayed for wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, especially when it comes to negotiations and managing the careers of models. And I think God always honors us even more when we listen to that inner voice. So you've heard my story this week. What is it that you're not listening to, or that God is sharing with you, telling you that you need to heed that you need to be aware of. Don't be foolish. Listen carefully and act on it. If there's anything, use the story as an example of protecting yourself, especially for you, for those young models out there. Don't just jump at everything. Read the fine prints. I guess that should have been the title of this message. Read the fine prints. Stop there. But anyways, God bless you. Shabbat Shalom. And it's Happy New Year it's Rosh Hashanah. Happy Rosh Hashanah to everyone. God bless you. Ciao, ciao. Bye.